This is our Player of the Week analysis.
Go through the flow of their offense. Austin, step back, long two. And over the back is on Yeso to keep it alive. Hawkins, and a block is called. It is so hard to take a charge in college basketball today.
Let's dive into the continuous motion rule. From the National Federation High School Rulebook, Rule 411. Continuous motion applies to a try or tap for field goals and free throws, but has no significance unless there is a foul by any defensive player during the interval, which begins when the habitual throwing motion starts, a try, which is going to be one of our key words, or with the touching on a tap, which is also going to be another one of our keywords. It ends when the ball clearly is in flight. If the opponent fouls after a player has started a try or tap for field goal, the player is permitted to complete the customary arm motion, and if pivoting or stepping when fouled, may complete the usual foot or body movement in any activity while holding the ball. These privileges are granted only when the usual throwing motion has started before the foul occurs and before the ball is in flight. And continuous motion, of course, does not apply if a teammate fouls after a player has started a try or tap for field goal and before the ball is in flight. The ball becomes dead immediately. Keep all this in mind when we go back and look at our play of the week. Let's revisit our shooting tap try rule from the National Federation High School Basketball Rulebook. Rule 4-41, shooting try tap. The act of shooting begins simultaneously with the start of the try or tap for field goal and ends when the ball is clearly in flight and includes the airborne shooter. Some of this sounds like it comes from the continuous motion rule. Now let's get to the heart of our keywords here about try and tap. A try for field goal is an attempt by a player to score 2 or 3 points by throwing the ball into a team's own basket. A player trying for goal when the player has the ball and an official's judgment is throwing or attempting to throw for goal. It is not essential that the ball leave the player's hand, as a foul could prevent release of the ball. That part is going to be very key in remembering that fouls could prevent the release of the basketball to go in flight. The try starts when the player begins the motion which habitually precedes the release of the ball, and it ends when the throw is successful, when it is certain that the throw is unsuccessful, when the thrown ball touches the floor, or when the ball becomes dead. A tap for field goal is the contact of the ball with any part of the player's hand in an attempt to direct the ball into the basket. A tap for field goal shall be considered the same as a try for goal itself, as in the rule that is stated 5-2-5. The tap for field goal starts when the player's hand touches the ball. The tap for field goes in exactly the same manner as a try, which means the motion preceding the shot is the beginning of a try, and the touching of the ball by a player's hand is the beginning of a tap. Now let's take a look at our player of the week. Let's address something else before we even talk about the possibility of continuous motion. Our defender in the lane in goal has obtained legal guarding position. He has 2 feet on the playing court in bounds, and his torso is facing the opponent. In this case, the opponent in question is the ball handler dribbler. So he has obtained legal guard position. So the question is, did our defender maintain legal guarding position? So the ball handler dribbler, as we can see, goes into the torso of our legal guarding defender. So it appears that the illegal contact in this play is actually caused by the ball handler dribbler as opposed to the defender. Therefore, this should have been ruled a player control foul, and the ball would have become dead immediately and continuous motion would not have been a thought. So let's analyze this play. So we have a dribble that has ended and step in motion occurs. So it's clear by rule that this is a try. So if this is indeed a blocking foul where a dribble has ended and step in motion has occurred, by the combinations of our rules regarding tries and continuous motion clearly applies here. And we should be shooting free throws based on the fact that this is called a blocking foul.
This is our player of the week analysis.